Hey guys, we're here at Edge of the World, Fernie, BC. We're going to give you a quick talk about boots and some of the clothing and outdoor stuff that you're going to have to be wearing in this sort of climate. So I think I'm going to start off on boots because it is the most important piece of equipment that you're going to actually purchase if you need them. You want to be looking for a couple things, especially in a boot, okay? We want to have a snug fit. We don't want it to be super comfy. We want it not to hurt, but we do want everything inside the boot not to be moving around too much. There are tons of good snowboard boots out there, and what you're looking for really is something that's going to fit your foot properly in the bottom part of your foot, so the width, and then in the ankle, okay, so the heel. So when you put your snowboard boot on, you open it up, and you want to make sure that when you put your boot on and you're strapped back in, and you're tightened in, that you're not lifting up in the back of the boot, okay? That's one of the most common sort of things that you're going to notice when you get into a new snowboard boot is that you might have a little bit of lift in the back, and that means just simply that that boot might not be made for you. There's so many varying shapes and sizes of feet, legs, calves, so you really have to take your time and go into a shop and talk to somebody that really knows. There's tons of different straps or lacing systems. You have these type of lacing systems which are super easy to pull up and back. Those are always nice. And then we have something that's a little bit more traditional, so just a normal lace up. Okay, each boot has its pros and its cons. With the normal lace up, it's a little bit harder to get nice and snug as opposed to something you can sort of just pull on, but sometimes the boot fits nicer, and that's the most important thing. Don't be fooled by all the gimmicks on the boot. It's really about the fit. So with the first boot that I had here, this is sort of a mid-stiff. On a range of sort of 1 to 10, 10 being the stiffest, 1 being the softest. This is about a 7. Okay, for terrain that you're going to be riding around here, you definitely don't want to be getting down into the 5s. You want to be doing the 7s and the ones that are a little bit even stiffer. So this would be more of a 7 to a 9. Okay. The reason you want to get a little bit more stiffness and support is because we have so much varied terrain around here that you guys are going to be shredding around on. You want to have that support both this way and this way. Okay, so a boot flexes to the front and to the sides of the board. Okay, and you want to have the ability to push it this way. You can see that's a little bit softer, and you want to have this type of flex. Okay, so when you're looking at the stiffness of the boot, again it comes down to it feeling right? But you want to have the performance in that, oh, if I want to get onto my toe edge, boom, I can do it because I have that little bit more rigidness to the boot. So we'll get into a little bit of the safety equipment that you're going to want to be bringing out to Fernie. This is extremely important. Not only is it going to save your melon, but it stops from scratches, and it's good in case it rains, keeps the snow off, you don't get a damp tooth because we get so much snow here in Canada. But it really is an extremely important piece of equipment. And a couple of the things you want to make sure when you do go to buy a helmet, if you're not going to be buying a helmet around here, or if you've already got goggles and you're just buying a helmet, make sure you bring your goggles in so that you know that they fit perfectly up inside there, okay? If you don't, you run the risk of having quite a big gap, and you don't want that going on there. Lots of room for snow, and it gets cold. So this guy, what you want to be thinking of when you're thinking about purchasing a helmet is, for one, it has to fit properly. Just like the boots, you want to make sure that it fits nice and snug. You don't want wiggle room in there, because essentially what that does is allows your head to bang around inside, and you don't want that to happen at all. So nice snug fit. A good rule of thumb is if you can sort of push your finger up just lightly in there, then you know it's going to fit really well. If it's too tight, it's going to be constrictive, not comfy. You really want it to be a comfy fit. So take you some time, go into a shop and ask if, hey, do you guys have helmets? I'm going to try some on. If they don't fit, Don't be just satisfied and buy a helmet. Really find something that fits for you. Move into the goggles sort of range. With this type of snow and the type of conditions that we're looking at here, we really suggest that you guys come with a high intensity lens. So something that's going to let lots of light in, because we do get so much snow. That means it's cloudy and not a whole lot of sun. These are the typical lenses that we're going to see, the mirrored lenses, which I'm not saying are bad, but I'm saying they're good on the sunny days, and we get more snow days than we get sun days. So you want to be, essentially seeing where you're going. So this is a nice lens, and if you pick up the goggles and you take a look through them, essentially things get brighter, as opposed to putting on something that's going to be more like a sunglass. So we're on to some clothing. Base layers. Super important to get a base layer that's going to be nice and breathable. Okay, we suggest you go with something like a wool or something that's a hybrid material that is going to wick the water away. Cotton, not super good for a base layer. So this is nice and light. It's going to dry quickly, and it's going to wick the moisture away from your body. So this is sort of like a base layer, something that you can put on that's going to be nice and light, just to keep everything nice and dry for you. You move over into something like this, which is getting more and more popular, especially in the places that get more snow. It's a full zip-up suit. Okay, so this would be also a base layer. You can wear your underwear underneath there. It's got some nice zip outs for those occasions when you need them. And these guys are fully connected, so you're not getting any snow up your shirt or down your pants. So that's a nice one. Super warm and really nice and comfy to be kind of wearing around. This one actually comes with a full hood so that you're not getting snow down your neck as well. Really neat. Lots of people are picking these guys up. Now you move on to something. This is an option to be putting underneath your jacket. Okay, so this is actually not a full-on jacket. You can wear it outside when you're walking around, but it's not something I would suggest you go riding in. So this is sort of a down. It's actually man-made down. This is not real down, but this is something that's going to keep you nice and warm on the colder days, and you're going to wear underneath something like a shell. So this, nice and warm. You don't necessarily need it if you already have the insulation in your coat, but it's a nice option if you're going with more of a shell. A good example of a shell is this. So this is strictly a shell jacket, okay? When you open it up, you notice that, hey, there's nothing in there except for just the interior, okay? This is what I would suggest you wear something like this underneath, just in case, it's a little bit chillier. I wear this combo only because this stuff really repels water. This stuff's made out of Gore-Tex, which is a nice breathable material, wicks water away, and it actually lets moisture and heat come out. It's great for blocking wind, and one of the best materials you could possibly buy in an outer shell. Okay, this is the kind of thing you're going to see lots of the guys riding, especially the locals, because it literally just keeps you dry, and you always want to be dry. You get down into the pants, and especially when you're snowboarding, you want something that's going to be a little bit stretchier on you. You don't want something that's going to be super tight and constrictive. These guys here have nice padding in the backs and in the bum for when you're sitting on the chair. And again, you can actually see the pads that they put inside here. There's a lot of tech that goes in behind these things. They have taped seams so that what moisture and whatnot's going to get in, not going to get into these seams. They have vents so that you can open it up, gets a little toasty, always a nice feature to have. And again, the most important thing is these babies are going to wick away water. You don't want something that's going to be soaking in the water, because we do get tons of snow and we're always sort of working hard on the mountain, lots of sweat. These guys are great because they're nice and flexible as well. Cool? Next.